What's going on with Israel, Palestine, and Hamas? Why are they blaming each other out? Let me put you on. The whole thing started back in 1948 when Israel officially became a country after the Holocaust. When 6 million Jewish folks got sent to Jesus by the Nazis, the idea was to give them a safe space. But here's the thing, Palestinians, which included Muslims, Christians, and other folks, was already living there, and they wasn't trying to just hand over their land for a Jewish state. They had roots, homes, and history there, and suddenly they was getting pushed out or told to make space for a new country. Britain, who had been running the area as part of its empire, came up with a plan, split the land into two countries, one for the Jews and one for the Palestinians. The new Palestinian state was going to be called Palestine, but the neighboring Arab countries wasn't feeling that at all. They said, nah, we need all of it as Palestine, and they went to war. But Israel came out on top and ended up moving more land than what was originally planned. A lot of Palestinians got pushed into refugee camps, and that's where a lot of the pain and anger started boiling over. Fast forward to today, and Palestinians mainly stay in two areas that Israel took over in 1967, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Israel got major control over both. But Gaza's basically on lockdown. Some human rights groups even call it an open air prison because Israel controls who gets in, who gets out, and what comes through. Life there ain't easy. Folks struggling with poverty, lack of jobs, and barely any resources. Every now and then, violence breaks out, and Israel tightens its grips even more. Now, let's talk Hamas. Back in 2006, they took control of Gaza after a local election, but countries like the US and the UK consider them a terrorist organization. Why? Because they don't believe Israel should exist at all. They think Palestine should stretch from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. Both sides, Israel and Hamas, being accused of war crimes, especially for attacks on civilians. Israel says Hamas hides weapons in civilian areas, while Hamas say Israel bombs homes, schools, and hospitals without a second thought. This latest round of fighting hits different. Hamas launched a major attack in Israel, catching them slipping. They killed hundreds of civilians and soldiers and took a bunch of hostages. Israel don't want to let that slide, responded with airstrikes in Gaza, killing hundreds, including a lot of women and kids. The violence got so bad that even Ramadan and Eid celebrations turned into mourning periods. People worldwide have been protesting, calling a ceasefire, but politicians still dragging their feet. Right now, the world watching and waiting to see what next. Egypt and Qatar came through with a ceasefire proposal, and Hamas already gave it a thumbs up. Israel, though, still thinking over it. Meanwhile, Gaza struggling, thousands of people dead, even more displaced, and folks barely holding on. Hospitals running out of supplies, kids losing their families, and people just trying to survive another day. At the end of the day, it ain't about politics, it's real lives on the line. Hopefully, cooler heads prevail before even more people get caught up in the crossfire. But the way things going, peace still feels like a far off dream.